Welcome to episode 3 of the I Can Take It podcast. My name fucking shit. God damn it. Alright, here's some fucking context for you folks at home. We just recorded an hour-long fucking podcast. It was great. Really good. We had good discussions on all the topics we're going to bring up in this episode. And then Amadeus, like a fucking bitch-made motherfucker, decides, hey, you need to pay $40 at the school. Why would you have a piece of software downloaded at the school that you don't have the fucking subscription for? Jesus Christ, my name's Isaiah.
My name's Bailey.
My name's Christian.
I'm currently less sick than I was the last time there was an episode recorded, but I'm still kind of sick, so I apologize.
I had a bit ready for my introduction. I was going to say, I'm the lingering thought that Captain America should probably be more racist. Can't say it now because I fucked it up because I'm frustrated. Jesus.
He should be, though.
I'm glad I get to be with you guys for another hour.
Because then we're all frustrated.
The way you said that and the tone you said it in suggests the complete opposite.
I'm like half sarcastic, but like I also feel like I'm the least frustrated out of you two.
Me and Isaiah are both frustrated, but like on different ends. Like you're more bombastic about it. I just kind of want to slowly die quietly.
And I'm a happy boy.
So Bailey, ask because you're in the big boy seat today.
Yes, because I'm sick. I'm separated from the other two, so I have my own microphone this time.
We're like 5 feet away from Bailey.
Sickness penal colony over there.
Oh.
Penal?
Hey, Bailey.
Why do you say it like that?
That's what it's called. There are penal colonies.
What is a penal colony?
Google.
A penis colony?
Yeah, I'm thinking like.
Hey Siri.
I was thinking Bailey's been sucking too much.
Define penal colony.
Bailey's penis.
It's a movie.
Is it a movie?
Because of you guys speaking, the request came as, "Hey Siri, I was thinking Bailey's been sucking too much directed feed."
God.
Hey Siri, define penal colony.
Definition of penal colony is a penal institution where prisoners are exiled, often located on an island from which
That's enough.
So you were wrong.
Fuck you. He's a prisoner of sickness, being an ill boy.
You were wrong.
You're so abstract with your thoughts.
Kevin Abstract, which is what I've been listening to.
Oh my god, dude, that segue was so good. I have to change my pants. Oh my god,
Kevin Abstract.
I've been listening to Kevin Abstract. I've also just been fucking frustrated that we have to do this again. I want to die, dude.
Alright, Kevin Abstract's 2016, I think it was 2016 album. American Boyfriend. No, it's 2015. It's got this really interesting R&B. The opening track, Empty, is fucking good. It's a great love song.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how good is it?
I put it about a 9, honestly.
About a 9? That's sizzling.
That's a sizzling score.
Sizzling, sassy song, that is. Ooh.
You're just upset because we got to record.
You're fucking right, I am.
And then I really like the tone of the album because a lot of it has to do with LGBT and race issues, which is really interesting. 17, immediately coming after, is fucking hard and depressing and sad. Right after a really nice song, Empty Home.
Empty. Well, we're not going to sing the song. We're going to get copyright striked or whatever. We're too good. Fucking.
Remember with one of our podcasts, I don't remember what it was, like the first rule was you can't sing.
Well, in this one, it's you can't sing and you can't talk about politics, but that's 3 notes. So you can go, fuck yourself!
Wow.
Yeah, those rules applied an hour ago.
This is the penal colony.
This is a penal colony of podcast. PCP.
I've been listening to Rex Orange County's 2018 single Sunflower, which is super upbeat. It's really nice. It's about like, I'm going to deal with my sadness through somebody else, somebody who I love. It's really sweet and
It's all
positive.
about self-love, that hippie shit.
Self-love, loving somebody else, loving yourself through somebody else. It's real cute.
That's probably why it's called Sunflower.
Aww.
Oh my god, dude, all these revelations happening, captured on audio.
Aren't you glad we're recording a second time?
No. I'm very upset about that.
Like, we were so succinct and professional in the other one. Like, we hit like 60 minutes, like almost exactly in the other one. Now we're just talking about bullshit. My shit is flying out of my mouth.
It's going to be an interesting episode to edit.
But I still love you guys.
I love
Thank you.
guys
Nothing
too.
can change that.
Thank you.
Sunflower. Other than that, I've been listening to 21 Pilots' 2015 and 2013 album. What is it? Is there 2013 album?
Vessels.
Yeah, it's Vessels for 2013 and then Blurryface for 2015.
Yep.
Big tracks off of those that I like. Off of Blurryface, I really like Tearing My Heart. It's this big bombastic love song, being destructively in love.
With the sickest breakdown ever. God, I love that shit.
Oh fuck yeah, and I just love to, I don't know his name, but I like to hear him sing sometimes because his rap, his flow is fine, but when he sings, it's like he has a very interesting voice.
His flow is sick. Ooh.
However,
Oh,
his
shit.
flow is dope. However, dog. And then Vessel. The big single off of that one is "Holding On to You," which is I fucking love that song so much.
I remember when we were in the car and I played "Holding On to You" and you were like, "Turn it up," and then you were louder than like as loud as my car could get, and I looked at your face and I was like, "Shit, he gonna pop, he dying."
I know all the lyrics to that song. It's one of my favorites. I feel like Vessel is a more consistent, solid album than Blurryface is, but Blurryface also has the single Blurryface, which has 1.2 billion views on YouTube. Fun
Billion?
fact. Billion with a B.
Yeah.
Billion.
Yeah.
We both checked this. 1.2 billion people. 1 in 7 people that you know have listened to that music video.
Holy shit.
That song was playing in the car with my parents the other day, and my dad was like, "Switch the fucking station." He hated it. I was like, "Damn."
The big thing about that song that I hate is that 21 Pilots has really diverse, interesting albums that are like sonically a lot of fun because they do a lot of play, how they sound. It's like there's rap, there's rock, and it's not like early 2000s rap rock where it's fucking garbage. It's like genuinely good. But then you have this tweenage fan base where it's like we only listen to Blurryface 6,000 times out of our backpack speakers.
That's what the radio does now. It just standardizes certain types of music and just repeats it. Also, side note, I like that we've all become comfortable enough to just start singing songs hell loud in the car.
Oh yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
It's good. I appreciate it.
I was hanging with Bailey and his girlfriend.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, Bailey and his girlfriend in the
Yes.
car. We were just singing Rex Orange Country, and fucking when we turned on Panic at the Disco, it was just me and Liz as loud as we could go, flying down the freeway. That was the shit.
You were going faster than usual, too.
I was going 80.
That's how you know a song's good if you're speeding.
Oh,
while it's
yeah.
on. Ooh.
Ooh.
That's how you know
Chris.
it's great.
What have you been listening to, dog?
I'm
Dog.
just
homie.
remembering like this last weekend too. Bailey and I were in the car singing the Front Bottoms,
Oh, yeah.
and I was probably going 82. We were singing. What were we singing?
Vacation Town.
Oh, fuck
Vacation
that.
Town.
Bailey
Oh,
put
shit.
on Bay because when we were going down, I had this whole day planned out.
Oh my
It's like
god.
we were gonna go to a bookstore. There was coffee and shawarma, and I wanted all three of these things because I like woke up at 8 in the morning and I had work at 9, and I was like, "Fuck, I guess I'm not eating breakfast," and I didn't want to eat pizza for the fucking 1000th day in a row. So I was like, "I'm just not gonna eat. I'm just gonna chill with Bailey and his girlfriend. We're gonna have a good day." Shawarma place is closed. We go next door. Coffee place is closed.
Aw.
Well, at least maybe Sundance is open. We walk over. Sundance is closed.
It was literally, we parked in front of the Sundance place. We walked away, didn't check if it was open. Isaiah just assumed it was open. We were like, we're going to get shawarma and coffee. I'm like, I've never had shawarma. I'm into coffee. So we go over there. We look at both the stores. They are both closed. Isaiah looks like he's about to cry.
What's shawarma?
Shawarma is like, have you ever had a gyro?
Yeah,
So it's basically that, but a burrito gyro.
dude, we should all like go out and do this shit.
Exactly. We were going to do that. Isaiah's almost in tears at the point when these things were closed. We're like, okay, it's fine. Sundance is probably open. Go over there. They closed an hour before we got there. And Isaiah just throws a fit.
Yeah, and then we went to Barnes & Noble's. We didn't get coffee, but I ended up picking up the 5th volume of I Am a Hero, which, you know, I started reading it on the toilet today, and I was like, this is some good shit.
Why
Is
did
that
you even
fun?
know it was on the toilet?
Was that like a pun? This is some good shit.
No, it's one of those things where it's like you sit down for poop time, and you're like, you sit down for way too long, and then you have to get up because you're like, I'm scared I'm going to prolapse my anus.
Yeah, dude, I can't feel my legs. I do that. Sorry, this is totally personal, but like, we just, all of a sudden, we're just talking about it, I guess, but I sit on the toilet way too long. when I go to the
Yeah,
bathroom.
boy. Ah.
Like, you do.
Yeah, Bailey will be like on there for like 30 minutes. I'm like, dude, are you okay? And you're like, yeah, I'm just chilling on my phone.
Pretty much. It's like your pants are around your ankles. You're just kind of comfy. It's a little bit warm in the bathroom, so you're just like, let's do it.
Yeah.
What's YouTube time now?
Toilet is like a safe space. Nobody can bug me.
Dude, I'm like in and out. Fuck that place.
No, the bathroom is comfy joint.
Yeah.
Nice comfy area.
I'm gonna talk about what music I've been listening to now.
I was about to ask, like, what were we talking about? Again?
Fickle Friends came out with an album this year. It's called You Are Someone Else. It's fantastic 80s synthy sounding pop, female fronted. I don't think it's what am I trying to say? She's got like a very different accent from what I'm used to, and that's what I think really draws me to a lot of the songs off this album. Number one song is called Lovesick. I just played it right before we started recording, and it's so good. It starts off with this funky bass, and then the chorus comes in, and it like fades out. It's just her voice with the bass. Then halfway through the chorus, keyboards come in. Then through the last part of the chorus, a guitar solo comes in, and I'm like, fuck yes. It's like that bouncing up the stairs just really gets me. Whole album's great though. Aside from that, Now is coming out with an album called Saved. They only have 3 songs out right now, but each song is so good. I've just listened to those 3 songs on repeat for like hours in a row while playing games. It's just very mellow indie pop. The singer, I don't know her name, but she's super good. Her voice is very mellow and calm. It'll get louder throughout the choruses, but it's just very chill throughout the whole way. I don't know how to pronounce this. Do you just pronounce it Churches?
Yeah, it's just Churches.
Just Churches? Okay. Churches has 3 new songs coming out from their new album, and I love Churches. It's just that female-fronted 80s sounding pop. It's taken over my life.
Speaking of people that are coming out with albums soon, The Wonder Years.
Oh shit, I haven't listened to that one yet.
Me neither. I don't know if I want to spoil it for myself, because I kind of want to just be like, it to get to like Amazon Music, because I don't use iTunes.
You guys seem to really like The Wonder Years.
Yeah, we're big fans of The Wonder Years.
I'm going to say that album's trash. I'll fight me right now.
Honestly, I wasn't a huge fan of the first single, so we'll see.
No.
Oh.
Like, it's fine. I
It
feel
sounds
like
like
it's gone more towards like a dad rockish type vibe.
it sounds like it's like this is the prototype for a Wonder Year song. You know, it's like you have the big bombastic vocals and stuff like that, and there's the accompaniment of this big wall of sound from the instrumentals, and then there's like the slowdown for the bridge, and it goes back into the chorus. And it's like it worked in the last album, but this time it just doesn't feel like it has the same spirit to it, you know?
I
Yeah.
feel like they just repeated without rinsing.
Yeah, it's pretty much.
Yeah, I want to wait till it comes to Apple Music because I hate listening to music on YouTube or like streaming it from some random website that does a SoundCloud thing. I really hate it. I'm hoping it'll be really good though. I wrote a paper, like a 5-page paper off of one song off their last album. It was fucking good.
Jesus.
Bailey, what have you been listening to?
I've been listening to Joji.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah, post Filthy Frank.
Yeah, he ended Filthy Frank a few months ago, I think.
Well, he just needs to keep doing music because it's good. It's great. It's chill. It's very relaxing. Kind of depressing, but it's still good. I like his songs Will He, Demons, and Pills. They're just nice.
The fuck did that? What?
No, there's a TV show called The Wonder Years, and if there's a soundtrack from the TV show called Wonder Years, it'll get put in their artists.
No, it's like,
Talking.
but it's a 2017 album. It's not the Wonder Years, dude. It's
Oh,
the
that's
Wonder
weird.
Years. It's not the Wonder Years. It's the Wonder Years. What the fuck's going on?
I don't know.
I'm very confused. Go on, Bailey. Filthy Frank is like one of those internet icons that birthed like 3 million memes.
He was the Harlem Shake.
So good.
Mm-hmm.
Rest in peace,
He will
Filthy
be missed, but he's still doing good.
Yeah, as long as he's creating good art, I feel like it just doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like the Filthy Frank formula was going to get old for him anyway.
Yeah. You know, I'm just gonna bring up new stuff that's not even on this list. I've been listening to a lot of Post Malone.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Tell us about it, baby.
Post Malone has a wider range of shit than I thought. Like I've heard White Iverson and Congratulations. Those are kind of like hip hop rap songs.
Yeah.
Those are really good. I like those a lot. But then he has this other song, I Fall Apart, which is also kind of depressing. Weird that I'm in this phase right now while I'm sick. But it's also kind of depressing. But like his range, like his vocals are fucking crazy.
What cover did you send us?
It was, he did a cover of Bob Dylan's Don't Think Twice, It's Alright, or That's Alright, and that's really good too. Like, fucking, would you expect him to be doing that shit?
No, I didn't expect him to be with an acoustic guitar and sound like he belonged with an acoustic guitar.
Yeah.
Like, it was really good. So Post Malone, Joji, we'll end it off with Willow Smith. Just that one song about Adventure Time.
What was it, Marceline?
Marceline. I think it's pretty. I had never watched Adventure Time before. I didn't even know it was about that until Isaiah texted me back and he's like, did you know that fucking Lady Unicorn and all this other shit is a reference to Adventure Time?
I actually kind of want to go back and rewatch all of Adventure Time.
Me
I've
too.
only seen like bits and pieces of it, but I know I loved it.
I kind of want to get the Blu-rays and just like have all of them and just watch them with you guys.
I just want to watch the stuff with like the Necromancer or whatever.
Necromancer is the fucking like the best design in that show, straight up.
Because I've seen like clips of that and it's cool. But yeah, that's what I've been listening to. Willow Smith, Marceline, Post Malone, and Joji. Good shit.
Watch the music videos for those Joji songs. Whatever music videos they have, they're really abstract and really weird.
Mhm.
And it really goes well with the songs themselves because they're like these slow, melodic melancholy, kind of
Melancholy. Yeah.
And I don't know if I like the mumble rap too much because he mumble raps a little in there.
He does a little bit, but I'm more like just into the beats he makes with it. It's just really good.
It's just kind of like it does. The lyrics are good, but it doesn't really matter when you're listening to the whole sound of it. It just kind of works.
Like it just works together. I think that's like the appeal of mumble rap, but in mumble rap, there's too much mumble rap. You know what I mean?
Anyway, let's go to. Do you guys want to go to movies or video games next?
Dude, fucking. If I had a coin, I'd flip it because I'm crossed.
Let's just do video games.
I'll
I think
flip
it'll be
my
quicker.
phone.
You want to go first, Chris, or you want to go first, Bailey? Because I went first last time.
Christian, you can go first.
Okay. Okay.
Yes. Go ahead, Christian.
My name's Christian.
Fuck you guys.
I'm not going first.
Go ahead, pal.
Talking about video games now. I've straight up only been playing every Devil May Cry game. Aside from the second one, I would have played it if I had time.
Okay.
But it was the last on my list. I went chronologically by when they came out, not story-wise. I played the first one first, and I was like, damn, this is a lot better than I remembered. And then I got halfway through, and I was like, this game's fucking irritating. There's just a lot of... The game's clunky, and the camera can be stupid. But it's not necessarily that pissed me off. It was just some of the bosses don't make sense with how they attack. There's this one boss towards the end. You meet him. This is one of my gripes with the game, too. You meet the same boss at least 3 or 4 times, and then you get to the next boss, which is kind of irritating. There's this one boss towards the end, and he's basically just this big blob of goo with this metal outer shell. And you have to hit the wall and make it light to be able to hit him, and it exposes him. But while his shit's exposed that you can hit, he's got these homing needles that like hit you, and you can't hit him while those are hitting you, and there's straight up with the camera no way to dodge this shit, especially when he shoots out his arm and like stabs you, and like he does it so quick you'll jump to dodge the next one, but as you're falling he'll hit you. He's like, bitch, fucking you're going down. And I seriously died at least 5 to 6 times. I died like 3 times, and Bailey walks in the room and he's like, hey man, are you okay? Because I threw my remote and I yelled and I like ranted for a solid 3 minutes like, this game's fucking hot garbage. I'm pissed off, Bailey. It's good, but this shit's annoying. It's obnoxious.
Christian
Bailey's like,
called me at like 11 o'clock after I got off work.
and
He was
I
talking
was
to
like,
me.
hey man, you got a second? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, this fucking game. Like, I just started yelling because I was so mad. And then right after I got off the phone with Isaiah, I beat it.
You're lucky boy charm.
And then, so I beat that game, and I love how cheesy it is. Do you want to say the line?
Oh, so fucking ooh.
You watch your volume now.
Oh,
There are
sorry.
people outside
So
of where
context sake, Trish is the character that gets you into the castle. Then she betrays you, and then she betrays the demon. What's his name?
we are. Mundus.
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 And she gets hurt, and Dante's cradling her.
Watch your volume now. I know you want a belt, but you gotta.
He goes on this random cutscene. He's like, "I'll fill your dark soul with light."
The cracks in Isaiah's voice are accurate, and you see a tear fall from Dante's face as he yells it.
It's the most beautiful.
And then it
scene.
cuts to the end, and he's like, yeah, I changed the store name. Devils Never Cry.
That is the worst name.
That's
Then
some quality shit.
I skipped to the third game, because that's the peak. That's one of my favorite games ever to be made. It's just a dumb B-movie the whole way through. It's so dumb. There's this scene where you're riding up the castle with a motorcycle, hitting demons with the fucking motorcycle, and all this shit. He lands on the ground, and he's holding the motorcycle behind his back, and it explodes, but the handlebars, he's still holding them. And I made Sarah watch that, and she was like, this game's fucking stupid, and walked away. I was like, you don't know how much I love it. Every enemy in that game has an awesome design, and they're so fun to fight. Even the harder enemies that are supposed to be introduced towards the end game, they're still fun to fight, you know, except for the floaty ones that float through the wall and shit.
I like that shroud around him.
Yeah, I hate those enemies. I'll just run away from them. And every boss is super unique and super fun to fight. None of them are frustrating enough to where I just am not enjoying myself. I think it's probably one of the only games I can say that about every enemy, where I enjoy basically every enemy. Where jumping to Devil May Cry 4, I really like that game, but the harder enemies I just want to run away from because they're just frustrating. Like,
Yeah.
you know the ones that shoot the icicles at you and shit?
Yeah, those ones and the lightning guy.
Yeah, they're just not fun because they don't really stagger when you hit them. They're just tough. They just take forever. It doesn't have that balance that I feel like Devil May Cry 3 has. But Devil May Cry 4, you start off as Nero, and I was super bummed at the beginning. I was like, I don't want to fucking play as this nerd. I want to play as Dante, fucking horrible. And then halfway through playing through Nero, I was like, this is fun. I like him. It's nice. And then it gives me my boy. I get to play as Dante. And I had a dumb grin on my face throughout the whole game. Yeah, I'm playing through the same bosses, but they're funner.
More fun.
Fuck, damn it,
More
Bailey.
fun. Whatever. Like, I'm enjoying myself way more, aside from the fact, and Bailey pointed this out to me, every boss has a gimmick.
He wants to look at his boys.
Every boss has a gimmick where you have to use Nero's hand to kind of fight them with it. So when you're playing as Dante, it just doesn't feel as right. For example, you know that plant snake lady boss?
Yeah.
She like plops down and she's got this little thing you have to hit in the air. And with Nero, you can just use his hand and he'll do something badass. But with Dante, you have to try to air combo, and Dante doesn't air combo well.
He does.
He does, but not like... You can't do what you can with Nero in that boss.
Nero's like cheap damage. Like if you just want to if they're in a phase where they're staggered, if you just punch them, you get easy damage. You have to like earn it with the other characters.
Yeah, but it just feels awkward with the other characters at times to me because they introduce you to that hand and then they take it away and you're like, wait, what do I do?
Yeah.
But that's what I've been playing. I love all of those games. The second one isn't great, but I still think it's a decent game. I'm a little bored by it, and I wouldn't choose to play it, but I'll still play it.
Bailey, do you want to go next, or?
Yeah, I'll go next. I'm going to piggyback off of Devil May Cry 4. The special edition of that game is amazing. All the extra characters are broken and
So
stupid,
true.
and they're just too good.
Fucking Trish not Trish, lady just kind of walks into a room with a shotgun and she starts going off with it, and that room is clear.
Yeah, Dante's shotgun doesn't do shit. Ladies just disintegrates enemies.
I know.
It's like that Bill Burr sketch where he's just talking about like buying a shotgun and he's just like,
Oh,
you
yeah.
got a problem over here? Wham! You don't got a problem over here.
God damn it. Oh shit, what else have I been playing? You made me forget. Outlast. Me and Christian played Outlast. It was free on Xbox One like a couple months ago, and I downloaded it, as you do with free games, just to have it in your library. And I re-downloaded it, and we beat it. Well, I beat it. Christian was there because he didn't want to play it.
Christian was behind a pillow or in a barrel, Scooby-Doo style.
I was behind it.
Yeah, but like you can beat that game in 3 hours. Like
Straight up?
Straight up.
What the fuck?
Like it has its moments, but like the best part of that game is the first hour.
Yeah, the beginning of the game is fantastic.
Because once you figure out you can just run past most of the enemies. It's just the same gameplay in slightly different scenarios. It doesn't change up too much.
I feel like the best moment of that game is when you're like, you feel you're starting to get comfortable in the sanitarium, and you're like crawling through that middle area, and you hear a sound behind you, and you just look over, and it's fucking Chris Walker. He's like, sup, and he throws you over a banister.
Dude, that bastard, he follows you throughout the majority of the game. I don't even know how he gets to where I am most of the time. Like, you go from, like, being in the asylum to being in the sewers to being in this way underground facility. He still fucking shows up. Like, dude, how did you get here? Like, you fat bastard. How did you make it through all of these codes and doors and everything just to find me?
I think the thing that makes that game not as scary after the first hour or two is you know every enemy takes like 2 hits to kill you. So you're like, I can just run by and he's going to hit me once and I'll be fine.
Yeah,
like, I don't need to run and hide.
I started to do that and Christian was getting butthurt. Like, I was just like, fucking fuck it. And I would run through. Christian's like, no, you need to hide in the lockers for like 5 minutes at a time.
Yeah, no, when we found the first locker and dude ran out of the room, Bailey like walks out of the locker as soon as he gets to the door frame, and I'm like, the fuck are you sitting there for an extra hour, man? You just shit your pants, fucking.
I was like, nah, I need to go. Like he's gonna hit me twice.
You wait for daylight in that locker.
And then you know that if there's another locker next to yours, they're always gonna choose the locker that's not yours to open it. So you're just sitting there like, yes, I know the routine. Just fucking leave.
The
routine.
I know the Rotuna, come on.
That game is spooky in the first hour, though. I want to buy the collection and play through it.
It's on the Switch. They're putting the entire series on the Switch.
Yeah. So I'm gonna do that.
Yeah, I've been playing that. Also, kind of a downer game, Darkest Dungeon. I've been playing that too. Was it like turn-based, just unfair combat?
Pretty much. It's turn-based. You recruit mercenaries of different classes from a caravan, and You go into the dungeon, you align them in 4, so it's kind of like Etrian Odyssey. There's people in the back. Sorry about that, Christian. I accidentally
It's
popped
okay.
you.
You just punched him in the face, dude. My God.
You put your healers and your range in the back, and then you put your tanks and bruisers and shit in the front. And the combat's pretty standard, other than like the descriptions where it's like, oh, they're bleeding now and they're dying.
And the narrator in that game.
Narrator,
Oh,
I would
God.
I want him to narrate a children's book just
A
like he
faithful
narrates
blow. Like, oh shit.
How the Grinch stole Christmas.
7 years ago. Like, oh shit, man.
It was intense. Ooh.
That game shines in the stress shit it does, though. Oh my God.
Yeah, it's very Lovecraftian. There's a lot of spooky Lovecraftian enemies. There's a stress system in the game where it's like if somebody gets crit, your entire party's just like, fuck, jeez, okay.
Like the game itself, like the gameplay standard fare, it's just all that extra shit just modifies how you have to deal with it. And I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, like even it's called Darkest Dungeon. That's actually a mechanic. You have torches that you have to use torches to make the area brighter. Or your character's gonna get more stressed. If they get stressed, you might like freak out or not listen to you or develop a negative personality trait where it's just like, I'm just gonna steal your treasure now. Like you go up to a treasure chest and like this guy just goes, this is mine now because I feel like it.
Like all this gold and money and statues and important shit that was in here, I'm taking it now.
You know that stuff that you could use to, give equipment to your characters or upgrade the town? Mine.
They just take it. I'm so pissed about that. So other than that, I've also been playing Hearthstone, which we disclosed in the previous podcast that was unrecorded. I've spent
Really? How much have you spent on Hearthstone?
I've spent over 5 years. I've spent somewhere between $300 and $400.
Oh, it's
on that
just
game.
as rough to hear the second time as this the first.
Okay, but just like to clarify, I've never dropped more than $20 at a time.
That's what he says here.
Because that's true. I've never dropped more than $20 at a time.
But think you've spent almost $60 a year on that game.
Yeah.
To be fair, you said earlier that there's people that just like stream and drop thousands of dollars on
Yeah,
packs.
true.
Yeah. So like over 5 years, like I've seen one person, I think like famous Hearthstone streamer Kriparian, I've seen him drop thousands of dollars like on a new expansion. Like it's ridiculous. And he's there for like 3 hours just like opening packs.
Can you describe for us your current deck build or favorite deck build?
So it's kind of a shitty mean meta that's going. I think it's called Cube Block. It's Cube Block. Yeah, it's something you do with the Warlock where you have a really OP card that gets drawn from your hand without having any of like the detrimental pulls that you'll have with, and then you can basically double that card for like 6 mana.
Wow,
6
fuck that.
gems, crystals. So it's really good. Sometimes it doesn't obviously doesn't work out all the time. Like I've seen a lot of good Dragon Priest decks and other cards. I'm telling you this to you guys. You have no idea what I'm talking about.
I feel like Chris when we talk about Dragon Ball Fighters now.
Yeah, kinda.
Like
Shoes on the other foot now, bitch.
yeah, but yeah, just Warlock, Cube Block, unfair stuff. That's what I've been doing. So yeah.
Anything else you've been playing, babe?
No, that's pretty much it. Isaiah.
I've been playing the new Attack on Titan game, Attack on Titan 2, the sequel. Okay, fair. But this game kind of, I saw gameplay footage of it, and I saw like Titans smashing shit up and pieces of buildings flying off, and I was like, I need that.
You impulse bought?
Yes.
I did that with Doom. That was
Because
a good
Doom's the
purchase.
shit.
though.
You
Yeah,
see some
Doom
shit
is a
get
very good
tore
purchase.
up bad, you bought it. So I saw some shit getting tore up. I bought it for my Switch. It kind of fixes all the problems I have with Attack on Titan because the story's good. It's like this intricately layered political drama with all this crazy supernatural shit going on in the background. I like the world building. I like the aesthetic of it. I like everything about it, but the fucking characters. I don't give a shit about any of them. It's like they're all one character trait each. Eren is mad. He's shonen boy. Armin is smart and timid. Mikasa is determined and she wants Eren's dick bad. And that's the whole cast except for like Jean and Levi, who get like a little tiny bit more character development than anybody else.
They get their shonen power-ups eventually, though.
Pretty much, but at the same time,
Do you know about that shit?
What? I know that Armin becomes the Colossal Titan.
That's a pretty good power-up.
It is a power-up. It is really cool. And
Spoilers,
we
by the way,
haven't seen it.
sorry.
Who gives a shit anymore? There's nobody. You don't see, because I remember when that shit was like hot and popular. I walked into a mall with my homies, not you homies, but different homies.
Different homies. Who are these homies?
They're just homies, not the true homies.
I will find them.
So I walk into a mall and I just look over and there's this chick in Attack on Titan cosplay just standing around. There wasn't a convention. She's just doing it up that day.
Just casual.
Yeah. She was walking around. She didn't have like the Omni gear or shit. She was just in uniform. And it's just like, what?
She was straight out of Attack on Titan.
Yeah, she just walked out of it.
For her.
It was nuts.
That's good confidence.
Like, do you remember when that shit, everybody had a fucking Attack on Titan t-shirt?
Yeah, I remember when everybody had like...
And it was unescapable and obnoxious. So you can just have your own relationship with the characters, have actual dialogue with them. And unlike the other, like, 6,000 Attack on Titan games, you're not from Aaron's perspective. So it's like, yeah, I've seen this shit before. I know what's going to happen. I know what happens to everybody. You get to kind of see all this crazy shit happen from the outside looking in, which is interesting. Oh, and there's this mode that's like an arcade mode where you just do missions and shit. And I play as Jean because he's my favorite character. I was just like dicking around and I look over and I see this dude on a horse. I'm like, that looks awfully familiar. And I walk up to him and over his head is my creative character's name. So they put you in the game even when you're not playing as yourself.
Oh.
It's the shit.
So how deep do they go into the show? Like, do they go past like where the show is animated, or like...
Pretty much like up to a little bit after season 2, because season 2 is mostly just like, from what I've seen, like Titan intrigue. There's not really like big moments like we're gonna block the fucking wall. It's mostly just Titans slugging it out and finding out who the Titans are.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I really like it a lot. It's good.
Anything else you've been playing?
I've been playing Far Cry 5, which came out super recently. It takes, because Far Cry 4 and 3 are basically the same thing. Far Cry 5 Primal is the same fucking thing. So Far Cry 5 takes place in Montana. So you're also a creative character in this one. You don't have any character baggage. You don't have anything to look up for. Look up to. You're not a douchey teenager. You're not spreading your mom's ashes or some shit. It's just you.
I heard spreading your mom's ass.
That's what I heard too.
I was like, damn,
Jesus,
whoa.
dude. Stay on top.
I
Best
played
game.
Far Cry 4. I don't remember that.
God.
Yeah, that's in the Yeti DLC.
Ew. Go on.
What it does is it takes all the extra bullshit in the background of the other Far Cry games, like liberating areas and all that nonsense, and makes it actually a part of the core game. So you have to do it, instead of it just being background nonsense that you don't have to do at all. Because pretty much in the other Far Cry games, you could just go through the story and it'd be fine.
You could. It wouldn't be as fun because you wouldn't have all the extra shit you get
No.
from doing all the liberating stuff, but yeah, you could just blow through it.
The hunting is way trimmed down. You don't have to kill this many capybaras to get like a new satchel or some shit.
Question, what do turkeys drop?
Turkeys drop feathers.
Feathers?
Turkeys are fucking in
With
that
how
game
beefy they are, they
busted
should drop
shit.
a lot more.
busted as shit.
Should shit
Turkeys
out
will
golden
fucking
eggs.
pursue you. They just, and you won't even see them coming. It's like this little ball of feathers just walking up on you. It's like, oh, that's adorable. And it starts beating the shit out of you.
So is like, out of all the things that are like dangerous in that game, are turkeys like top tier?
Turkeys are top tier with like mountain lions and bears in that game.
Have
Yeah.
you died single-handedly to a turkey?
Not to a turkey, but to a bear.
Not to a turkey, but to a bear. Oh my god, this is the first Nevadan earthquake.
One time there was an earthquake going on, and I thought it was just the dogs running around, and then my dad came out and he was like, fuck, there was an earthquake. And I was like, no.
Your dad seems pretty okay with it. Did you feel that shit? It was crazy. My feet were on the ground. Were yours? Like,
I was just in bed, and I was like, Gorgo.
I'm like, ooh,
Stop that.
got the shivers again. Like,
But it was a real-ass earthquake.
Far Cry 5.
Far Cry 5. My favorite moments from Far Cry 5 so far, because it's so open-ended and there's a lot of systems going on in the background while you're doing things, is there's this raid to take over an apple orchard, and because of how it's positioned in the map, it's probably the first one you're going to go to. So I had my bow and arrow, because I'm fucking Rambo, and I like being Rambo. And I got up on top of Silo, and I just started picking people off until they noticed that, like, hey, Cletus now has a fucking new limb in his head. That's pretty interesting.
Who?
So I'm just saying Cletus because it takes place in Montana, and there's a lot of jokes about Americans.
Is
it was
anybody
made by
named
frogs.
Cletus?
I would assume, maybe.
Oh, you were personifying. I see.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
It's a literary technique.
It is a literary technique.
Anyway, So they start bum rushing me, and I'm like, fuck this. I have 2 arrows, and they're way too close to me to make this happen. So bum rush. Bailey licked his lips. I'm not happy.
Dude, you keep stop talking about me. Talk about
So
Far Cry.
I slide down the ladder. I fucking run up. I grab a machine gun off a corpse, and I start laying waste to these homies. And it's the shit. And I hear bears in the background. You finish the raid, and it's just like, go kill some bears, and they're bunch of coked out bears in the middle of the woods.
Just doing lines like 80s style. Are they in like white suits, like Hotline
They are
Miami?
white. They are white and coked out looking. It's
That's
fucking weird.
dope. I'm into
Dope.
this game.
And
Right
then
now.
there was this other time where it's like I see a rattlesnake pass my feet, and I'm like, holy shit, I've never seen that before. I'm gonna put a bullet in it. So I'm shooting at this rattlesnake on the floor, and all of a sudden, my fucking entire arm is in a mountain lion's mouth, and I'm like, sick. This is cool. So I shoot at the mountain lion. They both get away. So I'm like sans 16 bullets. I remember I like got a skirt and I climbed up a slide.
This is a persistent earthquake, guys.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
It also sounds like locks being changed or such. I guess we're gonna have to save the Grinch segment for next episode because it's almost 2. So Bailey, if you remember in episode continuity, fucking hell,
It scared the shit out of me. This earthquake's crazy, guys.
we had
Fun editing this one.
a game.
You keep it all in. You won't.
Let's keep it some of it in.
You won't.
At least. We had a game called
Bet.
Devil's Advocate, and Bailey brought a Santa Claus hat because we ran out of time. We couldn't do it. This episode of Devil's Advocate, we're going to be debating whether or not the Illumination 2018 Grinch that's coming out this November should be a thing. Go ahead, Bailey. Take yourself out of the running, though.
You didn't follow the wall with it. I know which one's.
Well, you know what?
Hey, what? Who is this?
It's me.
It's Isaiah. Isaiah, tell us why The Illumination Grinch Stole Christmas is going to be a spectacular film to be watched and enjoyed by all ages.
So Illuminati's Grinch Stole Christmas.
Grinch Stole Christmas.
I feel that the Illumination, they make fine movies. They make good children's fodder. Despicable Me 1 was pretty okay. It's a good movie.
Mm-hmm. And then there was 2.
2 was less good.
And
3
then
was less
3.
good than that. But you know what? They're fine movies. They never dip below like 5. We're not mentioning the Minions movie.
Isn't that in continuity?
They've done an alright adaptation of the Lorax. It's pretty okay. Stop. I'm not as confident as Bailey. I can't say that all casuals should jump in a fire.
Well, I meant it.
But
I say what I mean. And I mean what I say.
even if this movie is not fantastic or game-changing, I feel like Dr. Seuss just being out in the cultural zeitgeist is a good thing. It's good stories, good messages. It might drive a couple of sales and expose a couple of new children to Dr. Seuss, I know I grew up with Dr. Seuss, and he affected my taste. He affected how I enjoy art. So Dr. Seuss is really formative to me, and maybe this movie can help other people find that formative author in Dr. Seuss.
See, what I'm afraid is that between this Illumination film and like the original stuff, there's gonna be too much bullshit that is gonna be advertised and sent out to promote this movie for kids to even get to the book. Like I hope that like they do like a whole thing where like the book does get kind of re-released and all that, but I highly doubt. I feel like plushies are gonna come through, shirts, maybe some shit at McDonald's.
Definitely some shit at McDonald's.
Definitely some shit at McDonald's. The book is definitely possible, but I feel like these are gonna get pushed. Like McDonald's, the shirts, the plushies, the toys are going to be pushed way more than the actual book is.
But I think even if the book isn't pushed, I think that the older generation that sees it and like, this is hot garbage, it's probably going to be like, here kids, look at this book. Or here kids, Jim Carrey is way better.
I hope that's what happens, but I'm being cynical because we've been through a lot today. And I highly doubt that.
Alright, let me just skip to the rant portion because I hate Illumination Entertainment. I hate them so much. I hate those fucking Minions so much. Do you guys remember back in like 2015 when those things were inexorable? Could not escape the Minions. They were fucking everywhere.
The
They were in
Minions.
every advertisement.
The
They
boys.
bookended every fucking Illumination. I remember because I didn't remember that Secret Life of Pets was an Illumination thing. It is. You know how I know that? Because it was like green screen, rated G. It's like, alright, sick. Rated G. I had to watch some G-rated shit. Cut to black. Cut to the Illumination logo, and there's a fucking minion sitting there with his one eye, and he screams the Illumination. There's a 3-minute short on Illumination. The minions doing shit in the lawn.
The lawn?
In just a lawn. They're trying to make money for like bananas or some shit, because they're like bananas, because banana's a funny word, and they're yellow. Ha ha ha.
Did one of their butts get shown?
Yeah,
Probably.
I remember this short.
If there's not a minion butt, then it's not good enough for Illumination.
And what Illumination is doing by cranking out a shitload of mediocre fucking family movies for little dipshit children to enjoy, have hardly any substance, is they are standardizing what animation in 3D is looking like now.
I think Illumination did the Angry Birds movie too.
Probably. Either that or Sony, and Sony and them are making very similar looking movies.
Continue your rank.
And what,
Sorry.
what makes me angry about it is that it's just, you know, they're just going to make a shitload of money, and they're going to continue making these really awful fucking movies. And they're just going to continue to perpetuate this bullshit of, hey, here's Sing. It's going to have Seth MacFarlane and a bunch of other big names in it. It's not going to have any substance. It's going to be dumb, and it's going to have really mediocre covers of great songs, except for Seth MacFarlane, because he can do a pretty great Sinatra.
The Angry Birds movie was Columbia Pictures and Rovio Animation. So the people who make Angry Birds did the animation.
Same shit. It looks the same. They all look the same. Fucking...
It had the right amount of potty humor too to be like an Illumination film.
Yeah,
it's
it
just
did.
the same. All these kids' movies, they're becoming so standardized. It's like Disney all over again.
We need more Lego Batman.
Yeah.
Yes.
Fucking put Will Arnett in more Batman things.
Yeah. I feel like I should just talk to you guys in more Batman voices now while I have this stupid sick voice.
Can you say where are they?
Oh shit, that's probably gonna hurt. Where are they?
That was pretty
Ow.
Where are they?
Ow. Fuck that.
Can you say I am Batman? But like what's it? The animated one, not Kevin Conroy.
Kevin Conroy?
Go for it, Kevin Conroy.
I don't, to be honest, off the top of my head, I don't know what he sounds like.
I am Batman. Shit like that.
I am Batman?
Alright, fair.
Does that pass?
Can you do heavy metal Batman?
No, I can't do the Death Clock voice. Oh my god, Bat Metal's the best shit.
They came out with a new one recently.
They did, I
They
sent
put
it to you
right
guys.
in the chat.
I saw it like 20 hours after it got posted. I'm like, this is good, thank you.
Thank you.
If you haven't seen those, look up like heavy metal Batman. It's so good.
Yeah, Bat Metal. So good. I love
1,
it.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
You have your knives. Check. Fucking that video's stupid. I love it. Mermaider forever. You know, Isaiah, what does your YouTube feed look like? Because like mine looks like clips of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Why?
Because I don't know.
Have you been watching clips of JoJo's?
I have a lot
yeah.
like the Killer Queen shit.
Killer Queen shit's very good.
I'm spoiling myself on tons of things.
Oh yeah.
How many people die in that arc?
Oh, a lot.
What the fuck?
I think
So we're talking about JoJo's Bizarre Adventure and an arc that is past the most famous one, I think, right?
second most famous.
Second most famous arc with a character who is named Kira or whatever that has a stand-in Killer Queen because that Mengaku or whatever has the best love for just pop culture.
If you want to know deep lore about this podcast, you will have to know. One day Bailey invited me over, and we got drunk, and he started playing Dark Souls.
I think
about
you made me. You're like, I want to see you beat this game in like 6 hours or something.
You looked over at me and you're like, have you ever done Drunk Souls before? And I'm like, fuck no, but I'm definitely down. And you're like, I beat Dark Souls like 3 times, Isaiah. We're doing Drunk Souls.
Mm-hmm.
So he got me loaded on like 3 shots and a rum and coke. And we were just fucking, he was plowing through it. And because I was drunk, I wanted to talk about JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. And I took him through the entirety of JoJo's in like 4 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Just one long go.
Yeah. And at one point, I was just getting really mad, and I was like tossing the controller around, and he was still talking about JoJo's. And I just stopped and be like, I'm fucking pissed. Continue. Like, go on.
Yeah, I took him through literally every story arc in JoJo's.
I wish I could remember it all.
Are you thinking you're gonna start watching JoJo's?
Maybe. I don't know. It seems like a lot to get through.
So what Bailey's talking about is there's this character named Yoshikage Kira, and he's a serial killer, and he has a hand fetish. So his stand is Killer Queen, and what it does is it blows people up if it touches them. So what he'll do is he will, for evidence's sake, he'll blow people up. He'll blow people up except for the hands, because again, he has a very strange fetish.
Also, side note, stands are like spirits that hang out behind people who are badass and main characters.
They are manifestations of people's fighting energy.
That's the more anime
The whole
term for it.
Joestar lineage has them. Joestars are the main characters.
Fucking weed.
Okay, fuck you. I've
Dude, you
watched
named your
so
dog
much.
off of like a big titted anime girl. Fuck you.
Shut up.
You
What
want?
was it? Heaven's Lost Property. You named your dog Icarus.
Yeah.
You look embarrassed.
And every
Hey. That character, Icarus, is a badass and she could blow up a planet. Okay.
We had, side note from what we were talking about, we had a friend over at our house the other day, and she was like, oh, where did you get the dog's name from? Christian did not stutter. He was like, big tit anime girl. The person that he told this to does not watch anime, did not get the reference, just went, okay. Did not at all understand. Thought that I was like, you can't just say that to somebody.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who is this person, by the way? Do I know them?
You do,
Okay.
Nikki. Sorry, people who listen to the podcast don't know who that is, but like, she's
Deep DQ lore.
yeah, she is far away from anybody who would appreciate anime or anything.
I like JoJo's enough. This is me revealing my weeb card. I actually have a JoJo's Bizarre tattoo.
That we were present for. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah.
you guys were
Oh, it was
there
great,
watching
eh?
that tattoo. It was fun. Bailey looked disappointed, and Kristen was egging it on the whole time. So I spent $80 on a little star on my back because that's what all the protagonists have. I didn't think we'd get into JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I wasn't prepared.
No,
Should have
sorry.
told me,
I
Bailey.
just could have brought it up.
I didn't know we would record for almost another whole hour.
Holy fucking shit! Really?
Yeah.
We spent 2 hours. Like literally, we were using this program called Amadeus, and that's the program we've used to record episodes 1, 2, and the bonus episode. So we finish our episode. We go to save it. Jesus, I need water more than you need right now.
Stay thirsty.
And we go to save it, and it's like, yo, do you have an account? And we're like, no, we don't. And so we go through every single possible process. We try to export it. We try to save the raw audio.
Which is just white noise.
It sounded like Rice Krispies in a tumble dryer.
Oh, Rice Krispies sound good.
They do.
In a tumble dryer. Why are you throwing Rice Krispies into a dryer? Were the Rice Krispies dry?
We needed to dry the Rice Krispies so we could hear the crackle again.
That's fucking stupid.
Rice Krispies aren't that expensive, my dude. I'll buy you some.
Reduce, reuse, recycle, son. Have you guys had like raw ass Rice Krispies? They're terrible.
Do not change the subject. Amadeus.
So we're trying to save the audio. It doesn't fucking work.
We even asked the guy, and he's like, yeah, you guys are fucked.
So we had to, because we're recording at our college, we had to schedule another fucking podcast recording session. This is why our audio sounds so professional.
Yeah, that's why.
And we're doing it again. That's why we sound a little bit tired, and we're a lot more loose with this recording, which I kind of like.
Nice.
I guess.
Good.
So I feel like that concludes episode 3 of the I Can Dig It podcast.
Fingers crossed.
Thank you for tuning in. I hope we can save it. I'm Isaiah,
I'm Christian.
I'm Bailey.
and I Can Dig It.
Adios.
Thanks for listening. Woo!